Hey, it's Jarvix with Make Oklahoma Weirder, and I am trying something out here. I haven't done a first impressions in forever. I was honestly never really that happy with how they turned out back in the day, and I'm going to try it again. Going to try it up a little bit differently with a different formula a bit. Formula being an unintended pun there, because we've got an Alan Doyle album. I really like Alan Doyle a lot. He's from Tulsa. He's a hip-hop artist, a rapper. Very old school, and I like the style a lot, and dude charts his own path. Dude kind of walks his own walk, follows the beat of his own drum, all that good stuff. And, you know, Make Oklahoma Weirder, we're all about that, so I have been really wanting to check out the new album. It's called Fourtitude, Fourtitude, because of course Alan Doyle, the number 4. It's a whole thing with him. Alright, we are starting off. I'm on Bandcamp here, checking it out. We've got an intro produced by Skanka, track 1. By the way, this is free. It's pay what you want. Wait, it's straight up free. I love me some good vocal samples. Think about it. So we're setting the tone here. Still easing into the album on track 2. There we go. What you really get out of this second track here is a lot of authenticity. He's bragging about how he isn't necessarily selling out venues or following the latest trends. You know, being a bit of an outcast, being a little different. This is track 3. It features L Smooth, which reppin' L Smooth here. L Smooth out of the Del City area, featuring here.
I gotta teach and tell you what's real. Don't forget your blackjack when they show you the deal. Queens and kings of murder talk, all of that. Women's master street status here, the masses holler back. Where did it?
Okay, so there we are again. Alan Doyle is kind of taking pride in the fact that he might not be wearing a lot of these hip-hop tropes that might exist, because he's not necessarily bragging about being on the streets, but he knows who he is and he does what he does, and he's true to himself, and that's what I love about Alan Doyle.
You are? I'm number 4.
Number 4. It's track 4, number 4, it's a whole thing. This features, it's credited to Mr. Burns, who I know has kind of dealt with some name change situations of late, but credited here is Mr. Burns. So we're shouting out the Outsiders. What was that? Hold up. We're name dropping. We make shapes. Damn. Shout out, man. I appreciate that Alan Doyle's shouting out Oklahoma City folks here. Taddy Porter. Holy cow, alright. I've never been a big fan of that particular style of, you know, punctuating your rhymes. because you're just repeating the same syllable over and over again. I mean, a lot of people do it. It's just not really my thing, but I like the flow on that pretty well. Okay. This is track 8. CRUSH. It's an acronym. For what? I'm not sure.
So, this song is... I hope it works out. I'm driving for days.
I need to be paying attention to the lyrics here, but I love this bass. That's all I'm zoning out on right now. Cool, real, unbelievably so hot. Alright. Cool, real, unbelievably so hot.
She's the kind of chick I go to the store with. Just like the auto since the rider got beef for when she back in the punch, or better yet, cook for her. Hit the eye on TV, binge watch Law and Order. What if we said to hell with it?
Law and Order.
On a road trip.
See, that's the kind of stuff I like Alan Doyle for. We're halfway through the album. It's 16 tracks long. It's a long one, man. All of these tracks are about, I mean, at least 3 minutes. Some of them in the 4-minute range. A few in the 2-minute range. We got one out here that's topping 6. One that's almost 6. Not sure how long this is altogether, but it's gotta be pretty long. Honestly, I'm not hating the singing. I can get with this. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not smooth or nothing. It's got character. I like it. Yeah, wow. I love this self-deprecation. It kind of speaks to me. Even slower than molasses, all my peers done passed me by. Man, you know, like, I gotta appreciate somebody who can, you know, handle their depression and express it artistically in a way that doesn't take it too seriously. I mean, you know, everybody handles mental health differently, and certainly there's, you know, a lot of albums that get really sad and in the dumps, and I love those albums too, but I love a flippant humor about things, especially if it's, you know, if it's your coping mechanism. Like, speaking as someone who used to frequent a Reddit board called To Me IRL, For Me IRL, I think, something like that. It's like a big depression board, but with like a dark sense of humor. Man, like, how many people cannot relate to that, you know? I love that he's honest about this stuff. I really do. Okay, dropping a little triplets in there, alright. Man, 36 ain't too old, man. I mean, you know, I'm not one to talk. I'm like, what, 33? And I've never even put out a studio album. You know? I've never worked with a producer, so I'm not one to talk. But I don't know. Like, maybe I'm psyching myself out. I just feel like, man, this like societal need for you to like just accomplish everything in your 20s to me is just really unhealthy. And of course you're gonna feel like this. Track 11, Magnificent. Yeah. Right. I like that he rebounds off of that Molasses song with Magnificent, both starting with M, which was probably, I don't know if that's intentional. That might just be a happy track listing coincidence, but Molasses to Magnificent, like that's kind of got a thing to it. Yeah, you got to be true to yourself. You got to be authentic in the long run. That's really going to help you so much. And there's truth in those words, and you take pride in that. You take pride in what you're doing. You gotta believe in yourself. I love this. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm always down for this. All right. I mean, it still ain't cutting edge stuff by any stretch of the imagination, but I dig this. Bro, I'm sorry, I can't get past this self-deprecation and taking pride in it and owning it. I've been played more than my tracks. Dang, man, that's cold. You just... Dude, that's such a self-own. I love it. Alright, Purpose, track 14. Warpy sample, tambourine. Beat's gonna drop. I don't think Alan Doyle would subvert a beat drop with something like this. No producer credit listed on this one. See, it's like these are some off the wall like references. Like the play on words here, we've got like a Franz Ferdinand reference, which is like what 15 years old at this point. Some sort of a Kickstarter reference, and we've got a reference to what was it now? A Star Trek reference. I mean, okay. Did kind of subvert the beat drop here, honestly. I was just certain that we were gonna just do like a standard beat drop and the verse would kick in, and then maybe add a little bit over the top for the chorus, kind of a really standard, drop and build and pull it back. And yeah, this is a bit more nuanced than what I was expecting. And I mean, it's, I'm not trying to say that Alan Doyle is like formulaic or anything. It's just for this particular sample, I was kind of picturing something a little bit different. Okay, and now I'm looking at the credits down here for the whole album, and it looks like we've got instrumentals listed as all the various producers that have been credited in the parentheses, and then Alan Doyle as well. So I presume and infer that Alan Doyle is producing these ones that are not credited to any particular producer, in which case, this is one of the more impressive, more nuanced works with the beat, I think, on the album. And Alan Doyle produced it himself. Like, that says something. That means something. This one's called Chillin'. It's the outro. You typically you want to end everybody on a nice note where everything's going to be A-okay. This one goes on for over 6 minutes. I guess we're probably just gonna chill. Maybe there's a secret track here. I'm not sure what's up. I really like this feature. Like, it's a really nice feature to go out on. Really fits that chillin' vibe. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, kind of reminds me of just somebody giving like a monologue on stage in like a one-man play or something. It's really got kind of an artistic, poetic sensibility to it without being like spoken word. Like, it doesn't quite feel like, slam poetry or anything to me. Which, I mean, obviously those things are defined very loosely, but yeah, this is a little different. I'm not familiar with written Quincy, and there's I know some of these features in here, and there's other features in here that I don't know, and this is somebody I would be curious to see the rest of their work. Or is it? Man, honestly, I would have probably left it at the chillin' and maybe not added the thing. Like, I know you want to end it with a stinger, but you've already said your name. I'm being critical. Yeah, that's the album. It's 16 tracks. It's completely free. Like, I'm going to click it right now and be like, hey, Alan Doyle, let me pay you. And it won't even let me pay for it. Dude made this mandatorily free on Bandcamp, and I think there's that's part of maybe the self-deprecating element of the album, of this question of value and question of worth and purpose. Yeah, this is a solid album in my opinion. In terms of hip hop, in terms of like wordplay, some of these lines are a little bit weak at times. I think maybe a little bit of corniness kind of works for him. And I'm not saying that it's a corny album by any means, but there's a couple moments. There's a Minions line in there. Alan Doyle is not necessarily seeking to reinvent the wheel. He's not exactly what I would consider to be an innovator, but he knows what he likes, he knows what he does, and he does it well, in my opinion. And I personally like this album a lot. My platform is Make Oklahoma Weirder, and it's all about the outsiders, not the Tulsa group, but outsiders, people who are on the fringes of whether it's the music scene, whether it's society in general, whether it's political or non-political. I mean, there's good stuff out there that's not popular that needs to find the right audience. So we got to do the thing, right? Let's bring it back out. So this is the Weirdometer, the new and improved Weirdometer, and it is on a scale of 1 to 10 how weird I think an album is, which is just my particular way of grading this series. To me, weirdness is not just about stuff that's zany or crazy. Weirdness is that which deviates from the norm. And so something like this, to me, is weird for being a hip-hop album. Like, it's a classic throwback styled hip-hop album, which is what Alan Doyle does. And in my opinion, he does it pretty well. I mean, he doesn't blow me away on his lyricism. He doesn't blow me away on his flow, but I like it. It's very pleasing to me. It's almost like comfort food. And even in that, like, the stuff that, like the self-deprecating remarks, he gets some quips. Some of his best bars, like some of his best, turns of phrase are at the expense of his own ego. And like that's the polar opposite of most of what I encounter in hip hop. So if the music were a little bit more adventurous, I think I'd probably scale it really high. But for being what it is narratively, it's got to be like a 7. I've been Jarvix, and this is First Impressions. I'll catch you in the next one.
Fish head soup is a mighty fine soup, even though it's kind of green.